What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. If anybody knows me, you know that I love the San Francisco 49ers. They have been my favorite team for many years. So, of course, I can distinctly remember when our team drafted Colin Kaepernick. And when Alex Smith got hurt, he came in, played very well. He then took our team to the Super Bowl. And I remember when he was, running in that spread option over at University of Nevada, Reno. So I'm very familiar with Colin Kaepernick, and I remember how he acted once he was winning. He didn't say very much. He had a pet turtle. But once Jim Harbaugh left the 49ers, that was the end of Colin Kaepernick's football career, okay? Because the team was unstable. We didn't get, better until we got Kyle Shanahan as a coach, which was, many years later, 2017. And Kaepernick, without that offensive coordinator in Jim Harbaugh's system, Colin Kaepernick just, he just couldn't play, all right? It's just really what it was. He was really a gimmick kind of quarterback, strong arm, things like that. The guy just couldn't play. So once he couldn't play, instead of trying to get better and improve, Colin Kaepernick turned into, I would say, a pseudo pro black. All right. So all of a sudden he started doing things like kneeling at the game and, causing and he started these other players doing it. But he did so after he got benched. I don't care what anybody says. I'm not the kind of black person that's looking for these kind of symbolic things. I think a lot of black people who do that, it doesn't help us. I think it's all in tomfoolery. But, you have some people who love to see foolishness going on and to get symbolic victories. And what happened was Kaepernick pretty much blackballed himself out the league. Not just because of that, other stupid things that he did outside of that, right? But now Colin Kaepernick is now Mr. Pro Black, and he has a children's book out talking about his life, and he's now blaming his white adopted parents for being racist, right? And I want you guys to listen to what he had to say. Then I'm going to come back.
Who's spreading a message of empowerment in his new graphic novel, Change the Game, written with author and University of Chicago professor Eve L. Ewing.
I love how you depict yourself in this book, not as some big shot hero, but as a shy, insecure high schooler like we all were. I mean, I'm speaking for you, but.
Absolutely. Growing up, I think still am a pretty introverted person. I hope it's true to form, and that's just kind of how I navigate the world.
It's his true high school coming-of-age story, his journey embracing his blackness, despite resistance from many, including his white adoptive parents.
I know my parents love me, but there were still very problematic things that I went through. I think it was important to show that, no, this can happen in your own home, and how we move forward collectively while addressing the racism that is being perpetuated.
He took cues from his icon, basketball star Allen Iverson, who he said wore his blackness like a suit of armor. And teenage Kaepernick wanted cornrows to match. He's getting what roles, his mom asked?
Oh, your hair's not professional. Oh, you look like a little thug.
Your mom said that to you.
Yeah. And those become spaces where it's like, okay, how do I navigate this situation now? But it also is informed why I have my hair long today.
The grown-up version of Eve wanted to go back in time and give young Colin a lot of hugs. And I was really moved and saddened by the level of kind of self-awareness that he had to develop at a very young age without a lot of guidance.
The former NFL quarterback who once led the 49ers to the Super Bowl,
touchdown, Colin Kaepernick,
was known in high school for his baseball. The pitcher even had major league interest, but he bucked public pressure and followed his heart to the gridiron.
There were a lot more black people in football that I was like, I found some community here.
Do you still want to play football professionally?
Absolutely. I woke up this morning before our events, trained 5-6 days a week, I'm still up at 4:30. I go get my training in. That passion is still there, and the ability is still there.
So you guys heard that, right? So we have these leftists here who are blaming Colin Kaepernick's adopted parents for being racist, perpetuating racism. Now, let me just say this. He was adopted, okay? Because why? Your biological father, you never met him. Or your mother, which you probably did meet, but they gave you up. Such that somebody else had to come and be your parents. Now, racism, like those cornrows, he says those are hair, hair for thugs, right? If I had cornrows, my grandma would also say the same thing as blacks. I'm not defending racism or anything like that, because it happens. But the reality is, a lot of blacks will say the same thing as much as whites. What we're not dealing with here is why your daddy wasn't there and why your mama gave you up to somebody else. Because if your daddy was a good man, you would have had a father in your life and you had a black experience. And again, I always expect white people to be white people, or blacks to be blacks. And what I'm trying to say is, no, I'm not trying to encourage racism, but we already know that every group will show biases towards other groups. That's what happens in life and culture. We're trying to ask for things that's never going to happen, never going to change. There have been whites for thousands of years, and blacks for thousands of years, and Hispanics and whoever else for many years now, right? And we all have biases, whether we want to admit it or not. Now, what we can do as other groups is respect each other. But now you can't sit there and expect that other groups are going to have sympathy for you or understand you. The issue is, why did your daddy give you away? Or why did your mom have a baby by a guy that couldn't take care of you? Because if that is solved, then you wouldn't have to deal with adopted parents. But every time that, it's always, a lot of times, we're letting blacks off the hook all the time. And that's something that we need to stop doing. Sometimes encountering white people, how did we get there? And in this case, it's clear to see your daddy wasn't there. Your mama gave you up. So somebody else had to come in and raise you. And when somebody else got to come in and do your job, don't expect them to do it like somebody else would. It's not going to happen. And black people got to wake up and stop trying to expect white people in the world to, let's say, for example, have sympathy towards blacks or educating white people on race issues. How many times you gonna been doing that? That's been happening since 1700s, 1800s. That's always been happening. What did you expect? At one point, did you stop? All right. White people are perpetuating racism. Oh, okay. What else is new? So being black to you is wearing cornrows like Allen Iverson? Is that what's being black? Again, you're perpetuating, like, by him saying that, you're perpetuating racism by saying that. Most black people don't want to go around with cornrows. Most black folks don't want cornrows. And this don't make no sense. Put the blame where it needs to be, which is the fact that your parents didn't want you. So guys, what do you do? What do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again. Another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.